Good evening again. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to call the committee of the whole for Tuesday, June 18th, 2019 to order with roll call, please.
Kraus?
Here.
Weinhammer? Here. Betts?
Here.
Cavelli? Here. Collier?
Here.
McAlpine? Here.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's just, yeah, that's okay. We'll now move to the public comment where anybody is able to make a comment of other concern to the committee of the whole. We have one person sign in, but he's here regarding the item on the agenda, so we'll defer to that. Is there anybody else that would like to address the village committee of the whole? We'll go ahead and close that at 6:24. Now we'll have a discussion regarding single-family detached residential development fees. All right.
Thank you, Mayor. The request this evening is actually the staff has had some discussions with the development community regarding the development of vacant single-family lots that currently exist within the village of Cary. The petitioner, which is before you this evening, would like to discuss a specific area of town. But this request is kind of consistent with some other developments in the village of Cary as well. I can get some more detail within the staff report and also in the presentation after the petitioner presents their information. The Fox Trails terrace lots, which are the subject of this evening, are shown on the slide. The developers proposing to purchase the existing 6 lots that are along Fox Trails Terrace and is reviewing our development fees for the cost to obtain a permit, but also pay impact fees within the village of Cary to various taxing bodies. The request this evening is just to discuss the potential reduction of those fees to assist with the development of the lots. Within the agenda packet you have this evening, there's some information that reviews the current fees within the village of Cary. And briefly just to highlight, the Fox Trails Terrace lots are 6 of approximately 25 lots that are currently undeveloped within the village of Cary. The staff report, which you have before you, includes the table 1 on the slide that shows the breakdown of where those vacant lots are located at. These are all lots that have not had homes previously developed on them, so there may be other parcels within the village of Cary that may have homes that have been demolished or may be vacant as well. But these are properties that would be subject to the implementation of our impact fees should new homes be constructed. The other tables that are in your staff report detail our current development fees for a single-family home. Table 2, which is in the upper left-hand corner of the slide, shows what the upfront cost would be to a developer or individual that's looking to purchase a home within the village of Cary. These are estimates for approximately a 3-bedroom home, about 2,800 square feet. So as you can see from the table up front, the impact development fees total before they actually start construction are about $26,000 to begin the development, which include impact fees to various taxing bodies, water, sewer, tap-on fees to existing village utilities, permit fees for the actual construction of the project, and then plan review fees that are generally for a third-party vendor to review the plans. Table 3, which is the lower left-hand corner of the slide, shows what those impact fees are to various taxing bodies. Primarily the school and park district are the larger of the 2 fees. The fire district is a flat $500 for a single-family home. And then the library district of $650 only applies to properties that have been annexed to the village after 1991. So various subdivisions that are listed that have lots that are still to be developed, these fees may change or differ slightly. And then also may be subject to annexation agreements that may have additional fees or requirements on top of what our current impact fees may be. Table 4, which is on the slide and also in your packet, compares the taxes that are generated by undeveloped properties, specifically within the subject subdivision that's the topic of discussion primarily this evening along Fox Trails Terrace. There's a home that was developed there approximately 4 years ago, and prior to development was generating taxes that are in the left-hand column of this table, approximately $1,000 to all the taxing districts that are on their tax bill. Following the development of a 3-bedroom ranch home on the property, the taxes that are generated by that property, as you can see, significantly increased, about $9,700 annual basis to all the taxing districts, not the Village of Cary, but Park District, Conservation District, and Library and Fire Districts. The request, petitioner will give us some more information as far as the request to potentially reduce the development fees that are summarized in Table 2 for the project. But should the Village Board be supportive of the request to reducing impact fees or other fees related to the project, specifically looking at the impact fees, staff analyzed how long it would take various taxing districts to recoup the lost revenue from the impact fees. Specifically, the school districts would take less than a year to recoup the impact fees that they would incorporate, and likewise the fire district as well, whereas the park district, based on the revenue that they would be generated by the annual taxes that would be on the property, would take about 5 years to recoup the full cost for the potential impact fees. Again, if after discussion, the staff is happy to answer additional questions as far as staff's recommendation if the board decides to reduce fees, of how that may apply to not just these lots, but also other lots within the Village of Cary as well. But at this time, I'd like to invite the petitioner forward to give more information as far as who they are, what they're looking to do, and then what their request is this evening. And then I'll be happy to answer additional questions after they present their information as well.
Thank you. My name is Kim Meyer. I'm with KLM Builders. We've been building in McHenry County and Lake County, Illinois for the last 33 years. We never stopped building even when things got dire for many years, after the crash of '08. Primarily, our specialty now is we are a design build firm. We have a lot of standard model homes that we build. We probably have over 20 different single-story ranch homes that we offer the public. So we have a shape and size for everyone, a price range for everyone. We start probably in the low to mid 200s, and then we go up from there, all the way up to $1 million category. We currently build all over the county of McHenry as well as Lake County. We have a fairly good-sized staff. We have about 30 people employed at our company. We have our own architectural staff on staff. We draw and design all of our own plans in-house. We do everything on AutoCAD. So a lot of times when we're building these single-story ranch homes, our audience, as you can imagine, is mostly empty nesters. They don't have children, so a lot of them are looking to downsize. We're attracting these folks from the closer-in suburbs, so Arlington Heights, Mount Prospect, the Schaumburgs, as far away as Naperville. And some of them currently we have 6 different furnished and decorated ranch homes that people can tour every weekend. Those are on our website, klmbuildersplural.com. So we invite you folks, if you ever get the opportunity, we'd love to have you tour some of our model homes. It'll show you the locations of the models. Some of them, there are video tours online where you can see a narrated tour of the model as it actually sits today. Those models are open every weekend from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and staffed accordingly. What we've been doing the last several years, as you folks are probably aware, Illinois has its unique set of problems when it comes to attracting new buyers for new construction. The least of which, of course, is not the most important thing to most buyers is what are the real estate taxes, right? And that's what's chasing more and more folks out of Illinois. So there's some that are compelled to stay in Illinois regardless of their feelings because, Illinois doesn't tax their pensions currently, where like Wisconsin does. So there's a lot of employees that collect a pension that may not leave the state full-time. They may claim a residence in Florida, but they may also have a smaller ranch home here where their family and their kids may still be located or grandchildren. So that's the market we're going after, is those folks that are compelled to stay here and the ones that want to downsize and build these ranch homes. So all the communities that we're currently building, I did submit a letter, and I don't know if you folks all got a copy of that.
We did.
But it shows some of the villages we're building in now. In all those villages, we did exactly what we're doing here. We've gone into that village and we've targeted a interrupted subdivision, as we call them, something that was platted and improved but never built, and contracted to purchase the lots. And then we approached the village while we're doing our due diligence and said, look, in order to make this work, we need realistic fees, And as you know, these impact fees and a lot of these upfront costs are one-time fees. You're going to collect them once and you never get them again, where the real estate tax goes on forever once that house is built there. So we think it's a win-win. Everywhere we've gone and proposed this, they've wiped out the school fees and park fees and those sorts of issues. And even McHenry County now, as a governing body, has suspended their school donations totally. The fact of the matter is people just aren't having as many children. The school districts aren't growing. In fact, some of them are shrinking, And certainly with our buyer profile with these ranches, they aren't bringing any children. So every house we put up and the school collects that 60 or 70% of that total tax bill every year, it's a win-win for the school, of course. They're getting a lot of revenue with no impact, So that's our proposal to you folks, is we thank you for allowing us to come. We'd like you to consider, changing your fee structure to make this type of thing possible. And if we're successful at that level with you guys and we come up with something that we think can work, what our strategy would be to buy these lots and then come in and put up a model home right away. It'd be furnished and decorated just like our other ranch models. And what we do successfully every weekend is we get these folks driving and they go from model to model to model, because everyone is unique, everyone's different, and everyone's a different size and different amenities and different colors. And so we never know where they want to live or what geographic location is convenient for them and where they're willing to live. We also talked with staff about some lots that the city owns potentially, in Cimarron. Our goal would be to maybe work out a deal with you folks where we purchase those as well, because then we're coming here for, 10 or 11 homes rather than, it wouldn't pay to do one home or two homes, if we're going to have a model and a presence and staff it and create all the expenses that incurs. So, we welcome you to tour our website, like I said, klmbuilders.com, and certainly if you get a chance, come out and see some of our models. They're beautiful, and we customize them to each buyer's preference. We've got a great reputation in the market. We've always been that semi-custom type of builder. We're not the national track guys, that strictly deal in price and build the 2-story boxes. It's mostly a ranch product today for our target market. I'd be happy to entertain any questions that any of you folks might have. Like I said, our strategy has been exactly this. We go to the village, and I was approached by Pete, who's a realtor in the area, and he's the one that has Fox Trails. And then as we got into that, we started talking with your staff, and we found out about the Cimarron product too, which would complement each other. They're close enough together that we could make sense of setting up shop here and building these things out and getting you some more residents and hopefully making it a win-win,
Does anybody have any questions for Kim?
One quick question to start off with. So are you looking for us to reduce the impact to 10,440, or are you looking, what specifically relief are you looking for from
Well,
us?
you know, what, as you can see by our letter, what we're paying for permits in some of these other municipalities, right? I mean, the lower the fees are, the better chance of success we have, and the more likely we are to pull the trigger and come here and build these things out. So I think, you know, the answer to your question is the lower the better those fees are, you know. I know that, you know, back in the heyday, that may have been the norm, you know.
Right.
And it got up to that level at some point by virtue of the growth and so forth, but the whole world's changed, as we know, you know. And like I said, our biggest obstacle to selling anyone a house in Illinois, the first question out of their mouth is how much are the taxes? And then, of course, what's the price of the house? And the price of the house, as you all know, commensurately relates to what their final tax bill is going to be. The more they spend, the more the taxes are. So if we get that reduction in fees from you, we lower our sales price by a commensurate amount, and that reduces their tax obligation for the rest of their lives, you know. So that makes it even more attractive for a potential buyer to locate here rather than some other neighborhood, you know. I know you folks probably you might even know folks in the community that want to stay here and want to get out of their two-story home and move into a ranch where they've got single-story living, everything on one level. That's the kind of buyers I think we would attract some people from the community, but we'd also pull these northwest suburbs that we typically get all over the county, you know.
Well, I mean, I have looked at your website. You guys do build a nice home. So you
Thank
have a
you.
very nice presence there, and I have seen some of your homes before in the past. With regards to, I think you make a lot of sense. You know, I understand when a lot of these impact fees came in, if you're building a big subdivision and you're doing 150 homes.
Yeah, and you're
then
bringing
then you need, you're going to be
3
bringing in.
kids per household. and, you know,
Correct. And you're also going to need those schools and the park districts and the fire. There's going to be more expense to them. So from an impact standpoint, I think that what you say makes a lot of sense. It's applicable to these 25 or so lots that we have here is what we're looking at. Jake, correct me, we're looking for all of the current platted properties, right? So we wouldn't just be passing it for like 7 of them. We'd be saying for the ones that we currently have.
If the board was supportive of reducing the fees,
Just
we'd be
the current
recommending it for
Right, just the current inventory.
single-family platted lots.
Right, right. So I just think that I don't have any problem with getting rid of the impact fees because I think, as you said, the dynamics have changed. And I think that you made a very valid point. And when you stated, if we're paying more for impact fees than we are for the lot, there's a little bit of a problem there.
Right.
And
You
I
can't
would tend
build
to
a product
agree.
that someone will buy. And
Correct.
then, and also, as Brian indicated, your recovery of those impact fees
Right.
is almost instantaneous in some
Right.
cases, you know, the first year for the schools.
Right.
And then they get it for the next 30 or 40 or 50 years, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-time shot, so.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a big picture from that standpoint, saying, hey, if we can get some of these lots built upon that have been sitting here and subdivisions that just didn't get completed, that I think that that's prudent for us to do that.
And just so I'm clear, when you talk impact fees, and just so everyone's clear, you're talking table 3.
Table 3, the table 3 impact fees.
So the
School, park
donation to
district,
school,
fire,
park district,
library.
fire, and library, which is approximately $10,000.
Right,
So leaving the water sewer tap on fee in.
right.
Which,
Well, actually, in table 3, it says library district. That would be excluded because it's for only annex property. So
Just for this
Oh,
subdivision
just
be
for the
excluded.
subdivision? Okay,
Lions Ridge example would have the library.
okay,
Right.
okay.
I got a quick question for you.
Yes,
When you
sir.
talk about the impacts of kids and children and stuff, what percentage of your home sales are to empty nesters?
What percentage of our buyers are empty nesters?
Right,
90%.
Thanks at 90.
okay. Just wondering.
Yeah, you had said that.
We are finding some younger professionals that like these ranches as well, but, you know, typically they're busy, busy professional people that may not have any children, but 90% are empty nesters.
I have a question. Jake, we had a builder not too long ago, was it behind Thornton's, that asked for a reduction in the
Annexation.
impact fees? And what did,
Brian, can
and
you
what
answer that?
what did we, what
Isn't
did
it
we,
annexation?
Was the,
It was, D.R. Horton for the Westlake subdivision came in and requested a reduction of fees, and the board, in that particular case, that project was governed by an annexation agreement.
Right.
And there was a separate annexation fee that the village was collecting based off a project that was approved in the early 2000s, and we voted to reduce that annexation fee. They were paying, they're still paying other impact fees for the other districts that they're coming into. They're single-family attached products, so their fees are lower than what they would be for a single-family detached product. But we did, from the village board perspective, we did, the board did vote to reduce those fees considerably from what was in the annexation
The
agreement.
fees that are similar to what's on table 3?
It was a separate fee in the annexation agreement.
Okay.
So the impact fees were still, that developer is still paying those impact fees for their project because there's a larger number of units, larger impact on the community. But there was a specific fee under the annexation agreement that was paid to the village of Cary,
Okay.
which this board or the previous board decided to reduce that the developer paid for per unit.
And has anyone talked to the school district, park district, fire district, how they feel about not getting these impact fees?
We haven't directly reached out to them regarding this.
I mean, I would like their feedback on this, if there's how they feel about not getting these fees.
I think we kind of know.
Yeah, if you say something, hey, you don't want your
They're
fees, what
gonna
are they going to
say it.
say?
Well, but like you pointed out, Ellen, big picture, if
Right.
they had that same information, again, since it is impacting them, I guess I would just like to hear what they had to say about
We
it.
could certainly reach out to them. I somewhat agree with what Trustee Kraus is saying, that they're probably going to want the dollars. Also, too, I know that, not that this should change our decision-making process at all, but I know that these gentlemen are trying to move forward with this, and I'm not sure how quickly we'd be able to get a response from the taxing bodies as well. But if the board wanted us to do that, we could certainly reach out to them.
Yeah, those fees are collected totally at the discretion of the village, The schools really literally have no say in that matter. Now, obviously, you want to be good neighbors. In some of these municipalities, like in particular in Spring Grove and Richmond, Illinois, we actually, when we started this was 3 or 4 years ago, and we started to get these reduced or eliminated fees. That board at that time, we met with the host school board in a public hearing, and they agreed with our conclusion that this was in their best interest, to forego that 6-month or 1 year's worth of loss to get 30 years worth of gain or 50 years worth of gain for the future and collect these fees in perpetuity. And we also proved to them that by virtue of the product we're building and the census that we took, that these were empty nesters with no students. So not only were they collecting these fees every annual tax time, but they didn't incur any extra costs to educate those new children. So the schools even signed on to our proposals everywhere. And as I said, the county board as a whole adopted this no fee policy as well recently. So you're welcome to call any of the mayors in these villages, and they all know of us, and visit with them personally if you want and ask them how they handled that issue. And I'm sure they'd be happy to talk with you as well.
Yeah, I just know if the village of Cary could potentially, collect some sort of impact fees, and the school board was making a decision for us, I'm sure we would like just to have some sort of input into it and just explain the process, so it's not just, you could have had this, but we chose this for you. That's just my thoughts on it.
I have talked to fellow mayors through my associations, and they've really had nothing but positive things to say about the product you deliver, the process, and, just on how easy you are to work with through the whole building process. So
thank you.
I'm comfortable with that. Trustee Weinhammer, do you have any comments on this?
No, I spoke to Dale about this last night and Jake about it today, and I'm fine with it, with table 3. So,
I'm not opposed to reaching out to the school district either, a little, just to give, not even, maybe they're going to say we want the money, but say this is the plan that we have, and show it to them on paper, what Brian did.
Right.
And be like, here's what you're going to get out of this.
Right.
What's your average market time right now on homes that you're putting up like this?
What the average time to build, or?
On market, or are you just building as they're ordered?
What we primarily do is, like I said, we'll go in, we'll put up a model, we'll decorate and furnish it, we'll be open, and then we start selling immediately, and then we build to order,
Build to order.
We do occasional spec or two, in
Right.
different, we have a couple right now, ranches that are available for sale for quick delivery, so we will spec one probably, but most of them are built to order. And then the customer gets exactly what they want, the size they want, the amenities they want, the colors they want.
I have a question. I think it's for Brian, though. Why would the library district not be part of this project, but for Lions Ridge, those fees would still be collected?
Depends when the properties were annexed into the Village of Cary. So the library fee only applies to properties that were annexed in after 1991.
Okay,
So Fox Trails Terrace, this subdivision was prior to 1991, so the fee doesn't apply in this area. But the Lions Ridge subdivision was annexed in late 90s, early 2000s, so that fee would apply for that area.
okay. And then I was just wondering too, why is our water and sewer tap on so high? I mean, our water and sewer tap on is higher than the total fees for those other municipalities.
That's based on a rate study that the village performed for utilities in the area. So I forget the name of the firm that we had perform that study, but they analyzed their fees, and that was what was adopted by the board a few years ago.
It's a part of their whole collective process that they'll undertake,
Yeah.
so that we'll do every 5 years, rate study.
It helps that the fees go to fund the water sewer fund for improvements in town, not just in this specific area, but water towers or other improvements that we're doing to the wastewater treatment facilities.
Okay,
So the fees that we're looking to keep are actual hard fees in a sense. You know, we are paying someone to do a plan review. There are costs in conjunction with getting a permit, and then there are costs in conjunction with water sewer tap on. So that's why I feel like if those are actual hard costs to us, I'm not sure what flexibility we have on that type of issue.
Yeah, obviously with the plan review fee, that's our staff time to review the plans, permitting for all the inspections that are going to occur out there on site, and the water and sewer tap-ons. As we know, it's expensive to maintain our infrastructure. I think within the next 5 years, we're spending over, or within our last water and sewer rate study, we're spending over $10 million upgrading our water and sewer infrastructure. So there's obviously costs associated with that, all three of those.
Trustee Betts, you have any comments on this?
No comment.
Anybody else?
I think it's a good thing. I think it's like having a little mini Sun Cities, you know?
I
do
think
too.
it's, you know, when you're talking about discussing things with the other taxing bodies, I think that once they realize the fee, the taxes that they'll get in perpetuity will strongly outweigh this, and with little impact to each one of those various taxing bodies. I see it as a win-win for the village, and it helps move along some of this aging inventory of vacant property that we have. I think that any new start of finishing up a development is a good thing. And I certainly would hope you would consider Cimarron, 5 lots.
We would certainly like to talk to staff about that project, and, you know, the one point I'll make about the sewer and water tap fees is most of the villages, they are quite a bit less than yours. You know, the village doesn't incur any cost to tap in. We bear that cost as the builder. So we pay all the fees to tap it in, and then, of course, you get another sewer and water user that you get to send a bill to for the rest of their lives, you know. So there's some benefit there as well, just like the other taxing bodies. You'll see, you know, I'm sure the users help your overall, you know, you've got the mains there anyway, and the more users you can put on that main, the better off, right? So,
It's expensive to maintain.
yep.
I think that's don't we have a pretty low water rate also? Is that one of the reasons we have a pretty low water
Yeah.
rate?
We have one of the lowest water rates in the whole area.
And I have some business cards for you guys. I'll just leave them with the front desk here. And
Perfect.
like I said, we'd love to have you come out and tour our models if you get a chance, or.
Thank you.
Let me get a consensus.
Yeah.
I need to get a consensus on moving forward with this. Trustee Weinhammer, you in
Yes.
favor?
Yes.
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 I would still like us to reach out to.
We can
those
reach out,
entities
certainly.
And discuss it with them. I just think we need to just be a good neighbor to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we can get this done. Okay,
Thank you for your time, and thank you, Mayor.
certainly. Thank you, Brian. I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss litigation pending or imminent, Illinois 120/2C11, closed session minute review, Illinois 120/2C21, and collective bargaining, Illinois 120/2C2.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are no noes. Thank you.